What's going on, everyone? So trust the process, trust the process, trust the process. How much longer do Philly fans have to trust the process? Process just didn't work, right? Joel Embiid is an incredible talent. Don't get me wrong. He is one of the best players in the league. At times, even is the best player in the league. But he's unreliable, can't stay healthy, no shows in the playoffs regularly, has never been able to get out of the second round, and now is just becoming a circus at this point. I mean, so much so, his professionalism, based on reports, is being questioned inside the locker room, inside the organization of the 76ers. We already got the reports that Tyrese Maxey called out Joel Embiid for his, lack of attendance at times and his tardiness and stuff. And this is your leader. This is your best player. This is the guy that's supposed to set the example. At what point, if you're the Sixers, do you just tear it down? At what point, if you're the Sixers, do you just trade Joel Embiid and, if you want to keep Paul George and Tyrese Maxey, right, because you're probably getting a pretty good return for Joel Embiid, right? But even like Paul George, he can't stay healthy, but you kind of stuck and on the hook. So if you're the Sixers, do you just kind of like ride this season out and then maybe look in the offseason? Are there any takers for Paul George, any takers for Joel Embiid, and kind of build around Tyrese Maxey? Maybe, right? But they can't, problem is the Sixers can't tank this season, right? Because I think OKC owns their pick, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me down in the comments if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's OKC owns their pick, right? So, and Philly's terrible, right? And so it's just I understand you can't tank this season, which is why keep Paul George, keep Maxey, kind of let, your rook kind of just do his thing in Jared McCain, let him kind of go off and continue to kind of grow and develop and be that guy, right? And then you got nice vets and role guys. Maybe you sell off a couple to the highest bidder and stuff. I really do think you at least explore trading Joel Embiid. He's not playing this year, so who cares, right? And even when he does play, he's been bad, right? So again, it's just at this point, why not at least explore? You don't have to trade him, right? But what if a team is willing to give you, sell the farm a little bit here? What if a team is willing, hey, you know what, we'll give you multiple firsts and do all this stuff, right? You just got to stay out of the top six, and you're in the Eastern Conference. It shouldn't be that hard. And you may be able to get pieces that maybe can come in and at least start helping you win some games, right? Rather than just you're losing every game, you get 3 wins. I mean, they're literally the worst team in the basketball right now. And I don't see it turning around. Paul George is out another week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then when he does come back, it's how long until he's hurt again? How much longer do you have before he's out again? And it's the same thing with Joel Embiid. It's how much longer until he's back? Okay, he comes back, and then he misses 3 games, right? It's just let him go be somebody else's problem, and then start doing right by the organization, right? If you want to keep Paul George, fine, keep Paul George and go Maxey and kind of see how that looks, with whatever assets and pieces you get. You can set the standard for Joel Embiid, right? You're not in a position where you have to trade him. So you could do something where it's hey, we want, a fringe star or all-star type of guy, right? We want a guy that can come in and kind of give us some production here, play some defense. We don't want just, a bunch of picks and we want actual quality players too. Right? Maybe you can work something out and get pieces from a team or something, right? I don't know, right? It's just, if you're the Sixers, I think you at least explore the possibility. I think you at least start picking up the phone. People start calling and it's all right, let's take this call. Hey, we'll hear you out, right? Maybe make a couple calls to some teams, OKC. They got a bunch of stuff, right? It's can you... maybe get a Chet Holmgren or something for it. I don't know if they would trade him, and obviously he's injured and out for some time, but at least he's young, justifiable. Or, even if you get a Jalen Williams and, a couple players, a couple pieces, right? Maybe, not the center one, the good one, the one that gives you 19 a game, right? Can you maybe do something like that? Get a piece like that or something, right? I don't know, if I'm them, I'm at least picking up the phone and talking to some of these teams. You may even be able to get your pick back from OKC, right? Get your pick back, get nice young talent from them. Maybe get a couple role guys to add in, right? I think that is just a better approach if you're the Sixers at this point. The process doesn't work, right? Like, how much longer are you supposed to trust the process? How much longer is the process going to take? Right? Like, I mean, the dude, Joel Embiid, let's say tomorrow he's healthy, right? And let's say he stays healthy the rest of the way. How many more years does he realistically have given the way his body is broken down? Right? 2, 3, maybe 4? Right? Like, he's already the equivalent of like a 34-year-old player. He is. With all just the way his body is just breaking down. And the lack of seriousness at times from him. I mean, the organization, your young star or rising star, and Tyrese Maxey has to call out your franchise guy, the process, has to literally call him out on just being a professional. Not even like, hey, we need you to be the guy. We need you to... No, like, hey, dude, can you just, like, act like you care? Can you just, like, act like you give a you-know-what? Right? Like, that would be nice to the rest of us because you're supposed to be the example. And, like, again, how long does this circus continue to go on if you're the Sixer fan? I think you have to at this point. I think you have to at least inquire. At least talk to teams and see what can you get, right? There is a team out there that would probably sell the farm on a shot for Joel Embiid, right? Like Detroit would probably give you whatever you want just to go get Joel Embiid, just to say we have Joel Embiid, right? Like, and there are teams and organizations that they don't even care about winning. They just want the names on the jerseys, right? They just want to make as much money as possible. You don't think there's some organizations that would be like, man, we could get Joel Embiid, right? Who cares if we win? Just go get Joel Embiid, right? Like at that point, if you're the Sixers, right? Like, and you're Daryl Morey, I understand Daryl Morey, he likes the names, right? He likes the stars. That's his thing. Like you put all the stars together, and I hate to break it to him, but it hasn't worked, right? Like, his philosophy, his idea hasn't worked, right? Because it's not the right stars. I do believe big threes can still work. I know a lot of people disagree because of the new CBA and stuff like that. No, you just have to have the right pieces. And on paper, Joel Embiid, Paul George, and Tyrese Maxey make sense on paper. But here's the problem. Joel Embiid is not serious and is a no-show in the playoffs and can't stay healthy. Paul George, yes, he is serious. Yes, Paul George is a very good, but when he's healthy and on, right, like he's great, still one of the best two-way guys in the league, but he can't stay healthy. And on top of that, you never know what Paul George you're going to get in the playoffs. One game, he's playoff P. Next game, he's pandemic P, right? Like, it's just like, you don't know which Paul George you're going to get. And then you have Tyrese Maxey, who is young, is coming up. And now, I mean, your rookie might even win Rookie of the Year, and Jared McCain, right? And he's having himself a season. But, like, to me, it's just like, you have your core, right? You have some guys. You have Maxey, who has been incredible. McCain might actually be something, which you could argue McCain and Maxey kind of are a little bit of a redundancy, right? So at some point, you're probably going to have to trade one of them. Do you look to maybe trade Max? Do you look to just tear it down if you're the Sixers? Especially if you can get your pick back from OKC, right? Like, that's my thing. Like, I would be calling, like, hey, you're the worst team in the NBA right now. Like, hey, we want our pick back plus, if you could get, like I said, a Jalen Williams and like, I don't know, Lou Dort, because they got like Alex Caruso and stuff like that, right? And then now you at least have like a nice young core. And then, like I said, you're not going to be able to trade Paul George this season, but like maybe in the offseason, maybe a team would take him on, right? So if not, maybe you keep him and you got like Maxey, Williams, Paul George, right? Go get a serviceable center or something and, a power forward and just see what you can do, right? Like, if you're the Sixers, I think you at least got to explore. So I think you at least got to look, see, like, can you really get like a piece or two to kind of help add to this foundation? Maybe give it a look with Maxey and Paul George and the rest of the young guys and this, just depth and stuff, and kind of say, okay, maybe you can pull off some wins here. Or do you just continue to ride the process? I mean, obviously, look, you'd have to get more than Jalen and like a Lou Dort, right? Because you have to match salaries and stuff. But, like, my point is, can you maybe pull something like that off, right, and get your pick back, and then whatever other interchangeable parts are interchangeable parts, right? But like, I don't know. I look at this and I just go, man, Houston, right? Can you maybe get a Şengün, right, and maybe even like a Jalen Green, right? Like, can you get those guys? I don't even know if they could be traded this season, but you get my point. Maybe in the offseason you're looking to go get them, right? Get some young foundation pieces, right? That's why I said earlier, maybe you're riding this season out, maybe you're finishing the season, and then in the offseason looking to pull off some trade. That's probably what I would do. Is like, okay, let's go hit up Houston, hit up OKC, hit up these teams that have good young talent that you can add and maybe elevate your roster. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, and I pass a question on to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you think, yes, you at this point, you got to trade Joel Embiid, whether it's this season or in the offseason? Either way, you got to do it. Do you think, no, keep him? He's the Sixers, right? Like, and you just figure it out. However you feel, whatever your thoughts are, love to hear it either way. Let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. Lets me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.